We are here at Circa Resort and Casino in beautiful downtown Las Vegas for Ultimate Contest Week. And we are joined by the man himself who set this all up, Mike Palm, the VP of Operations at Circa. Mike, are you feeling the energy? The players are coming in. How you feeling?
Yeah, it's one of our highlight weekends of the year, Sam. We start taking signups back in May, but it really crescendos this weekend until kickoff of the NFL season. So we love what we've developed around the events this weekend. Doing the Radio Row, it continues to grow year after year. It's now become a tradition. We have the winner's dinner at Andiamo at the D on the Thursday of this weekend. And that's for anybody that made it to the end and cashed in a Survivor contest over the last 5 years, or anybody that's finished in the top 10 in the Circa Millions. I think we'll have about 50 people at that dinner tonight. And then that spills over to Bar Canada, and we have a meet and greet hangout. Hopefully you guys will be over there tonight for sure at Bar Canada. Those are some of my favorite memories, hanging out with some members of the media and chopping it up. Tomorrow's the pool day. Anybody that's done one or more entries in our contest can hang out at Stadium Swim. And then anybody that's done 3 or more entries, we're going to have a blackjack shootout tournament tomorrow night, High Limit, where we're going to give away 5 Super Bowl futures, in total $10,000. So it's just a quick, 10 hands per round little tournament, but it's fun. It's a good social interaction. And then on Saturday, I have my panel that I've done. This will be the 7th one, where we discuss the NFL from pros' perspectives, and folks can come in and ask questions. We'll stream it on X, and people can ask from X as well. Mike Pritchett, former first-round pick from Las Vegas, who had a terrific career as a receiver in the NFL for the Falcons, the Seahawks, and Broncos. Chuck Edel, who's a professional sports bettor from Chicago, lives in Las Vegas now. Drew Dinsick, who is many of you know from NBC or podcasts around, a very good handicapper of the NFL, and Sam Munson, for many years worked for Pro Football Focus, very analytical bettor. So 4 good perspectives, and we had close to 200 folks last year turn out for this event, so hope to get over 200 this year.
So awesome. And you're talking about kind of that football side and the contest side as well. I want to know a little bit more about, the players, obviously big, huge football fans, setting this up as the VP of Operations. What are kind of the football tools that you're trying to look at to build the best and optimal contest?
Well, the contest started off when we first started Circa Sports, and Circa wasn't built. No one had any idea what Circa was. It was just the Golden Gate and the D, and William Hill had been our sports provider. But of course, our owner, Derek Stevens, it was always his dream to run his own book. So we got it kicked off in June of 2019, and we needed to do something to get our name out there. Westgate was the king of the hill at the time with the Super Contest. So that first year we came up to with a contest that was similar to the Westgate in that it's 5 games against the spread each week in the NFL. We added a few twists to it. We had quarterly prizes, which now they've adopted a couple years later, but quarterly prizes. So we split the season into 4 sections. Yeah, as it's constructed now with 18 weeks, it's 4 weeks and 5 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks. So if you get hot for a month, if you do it in that right time frame, we give out over 300,000 each quarter too, which
Right.
I think appeals to a lot of people, because they say, oh, there's a lot of pros. You got to pick 68% winners to finish it in the top 10, 70%. Well, no, you just got to get hot for a month,
Right.
which we all kind of do during a year, right? You have your hot and cold spells. And the other big thing was no rake. So Westgate at the time was taking 8% out, for their admin fee or whatever for running it, like a poker tournament, or a rake to it. And we said, no rake, not raking in what we spend to operate the contest and to promote it. That's going to be our marketing expense, because in Nevada, as everyone knows, you have to come to the casino to register. So we're going to get people to come to Circa when it's built, and they're going to fall in love with it, and that's how we're going to hook them as customers overall. And we started the first year, we guaranteed $1.5 million. But like 2 weeks ago, we had 300 people like, oh God, we're going to have $1 million overlay. This is a disaster. And we got a big rush at the end, and we got to like 1.8 million in prizes. And then it's just grown. And then, of course, in 2020, we opened Circa. So now people understand what it's about.
Right.
And it just grew and grew. We introduced the Survivor contest in the second year. So we've grown the millions from that first year up to where, like, we keep guaranteeing 6 million, and that's kind of the sweet spot. It comes right in at about 6,000 entries. And then the Survivor, which we started out as 1,000 people, has in year 6, there's a good chance that we might have $20 million in the prize pool for Survivor this year. We went from 6 to 9 to 14.2 in the last 3 years. And so we guaranteed 15 this year, but we're pacing. I look at these numbers the same day last year, signups, and, we've been hanging right at 40 to 42%. Like, if we extrapolated exactly from today, we'd be just over 20 million. So that's exciting. And we added this Grandissimo, the high roller one, $100,000 Survivor contest. And we set the 1.5 million. We needed 15 entries, maximum of 2 per person. And we're at 19 already. I set the number. I thought it'd be 30. I think I'm right, or maybe I'm a little short. I know of at least 4 more that are coming. 3 this weekend, another one next week, and then who knows who shows up. Like, I never thought we'd have 11 guys that put up 100,000 before August 1st, which we did, because I said they want to tie up their money, but I guess my budget's a little different than other folks.
Right. I'm loving the way you're talking about this, because at SumerSports, we're a data and artificial intelligence company working in this football space. And I'm loving the way that you're thinking about it, the growth rates, the people that are coming through. What are some of the key pieces of data? You mentioned a couple, but the eye-opening pieces of data since you started running this, and what it shows about the players and what it shows about this contest.
Well, I really look at Survivor, and we have proxies, and those are the folks, the majority of people don't live in the state of Nevada.
Right.
So in order to operate the contest, they have to hire a proxy. Now, if you got a buddy that lives here and you trust him, he can put your picks in for you. But they have to be done within state lines, geofence, because of the Wire Act, the Congressional Wire Act, the federal act. So we have these proxy services that you pay, and the rates vary and all that, but just say like $200 to $300 for the season, and that's how out-of-state people could play. So we talk to them, and we also look at our own data, because everybody has to sign up and get a card. The rate of retention on Survivor is really something quite amazing to me. I mean, we're at over 50% every year.
Wow.
People who play come back the next year.
Wow.
And then the rate of growth of the number of entries they buy in the last 2 years has been just under 30%. So the average person, if they bought 2 entries last year, they're buying 2.6 entries this year, which means more than not, they're buying 3 than are just coming back and buying 2. Because people say, I didn't make it last year. I got to protect myself more. I'm going to invest in an additional 1,000. So those are very good, key metrics for us, that customer return rate, and then that they're buying more, if you want to say it that way, as a commodity. They're buying more when they come back.
So how has that kind of changed? Because I feel like probably when y'all started it, a lot of these game formats to the average consumer, the average bettor, were probably not super well known. I imagine that has changed quite a bit in recent years. Have you seen major changes?
Well, the Survivor, we just really had a market. I mean, it's more of a Midwest thing, playing Survivor. People play Last Man Standing, but that's different. That's one game.
So there's regional differences.
Yeah, we brought this from the Midwest, where a lot of us played in our own Survivor pools with our friends. There's 10 or 20 guys, and you throw in $200 and see who lasts the longest, right? And Derek has played in one since he was in high school. His buddies. It's the same 9 guys. The 10 of them, they still play in it, right? They have a trophy, and each year that wins, you get your name on the trophy, and you get to keep it.
So it comes from a space of just a couple of friends.
From a personal space.
That's awesome.
And I was very keen on this, because I played it before too, that when we introduced this, once we educated people on what it was, that they'd love it. And people do love it, because when you lose, it's always some sort of ridiculous bad beat, right? You had 4 turnovers. The quarterback got hurt. It was because you're picking favorites most of the way with no point spread. So there's a great FOMO when people get knocked out. The documentary that's been made the last 2 years has certainly helped spread the news about Survivor and what it is. And so we saw last year, it got released a little bit late last year. It got released like now. This coming week. It come out 2 weeks earlier, but getting that distributed out there and people being able to see what's this contest that keeps growing out in Las Vegas,
right,
and see the stories. To me, and this is a little bit simplification, but to me, you're going to see more professionals playing in the millions in contests. It's not easy to pick 5 games a week. If you're just betting, usually 1 game a lot, maybe 2. The third gets hard. 5, now you're pushing it, right? So you say that's more people that are maybe not professional, but are more than recreational in that. The Survivor is just an everyman contest, right? A roofer wins it, a school teacher, a guy that owns an antique store. I mean, it's all kind of just regular people that it's a little bit like a lottery that's life-changing money. a tax lawyer from Indianapolis. These aren't professional bettors.
Right.
They all have a regular job, but they can pick one game a week to try to keep advancing. And there's so many strategies. Do you work from the back? Do you work from the 2 holidays? Everybody has a different theory. There's been a whole secondary market that's come up of how to monetize your pick if you make a deep run, where you can sell percentages of your entry on this thing called Survivor Sweat. I need to monetize. I don't have enough money to hedge if I'm going to win $3 million, right? How can I get that money together? But I'll sell 20% of my entry to somebody.
Yeah.
I'll put it up for auction. I'm going to ask this. Somebody offers me that. Okay, I'm going to sell it. And there's a whole industry that's really grown up around it. So I think those have been some of the stories that we've seen over the 6 or 7 years we've done this.
I'm really interested. I like how you mentioned, it could be a roofer who wins this. It could be
anyone. One of the guys that split it 3 ways a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Who sells roofing in Florida.
Yeah, 100%. And then as someone who works on AI products, I was also thinking, like, even if it was 5 picks, it was just 1 pick, what would be the first step I'd do? I'd probably go to ChatGPT or Gemini and see what it is. And obviously there's a lot of research going on in that space right now about how they predict things, and, not the best, but it's coming along. Do you expect to see more of that? Like, how do you think the approach of these folks have changed?
So a whole lot of podcasts that have popped up around this, right? Where people go on every week and talk about strategy. VSiN, from the beginning, a numbers game that Gil Alexander hosts. He's been one of the biggest advocates. It starts from early August, starts plotting out and talking about survivor strategy, right? The thing is not just pick the team that's most likely to win this week,
right?
Because you're playing against all these other players, right? And you want to take your shots to stay away from the landmines where all these people are on one team.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not life-changing money if 1,000 people make it to the end and it's a formful season, which we've seen in recent years. There's always big upsets early in the year because that's when you least know about a team.
Yeah.
And you can have to use, there's 32 teams with 20 weeks. You've got to use all but 12 teams. So you're going to use some teams that aren't great.
Right.
But can you find them in spots? I know people that have hard and fast rules. They never use division games. They never use road teams, right? They have those rules because the division games breed familiarity, so there's more upsets. You just don't want teams that are on the road if you can avoid it, right? And that's why it's interesting in week 1, the Cardinals, the opening line was 4 at New Orleans. It's up to 6. People are talking about, do I use the Cardinals? Where else am I going to use them? But I don't want to take a road team. So there's all these different theories that work. And then you're also trying to handicap what percentage of the field is going to be on your pick or on the other picks.
An excellent breakdown. Mike Palm bringing you all the data behind the contest and then also giving you a couple strategies that you might want to check out. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for being here, Sam. I hope you guys enjoy your weekend.
Appreciate it.